Show some enthusiasm. Thanksgiving is an institution here.
Director Eli Roth serves up macabre merriment with his new film, Thanksgiving. A cinematic feast where a knife-wielding pilgrim carves up a New England town like a Thanksgiving turkey. Thanksgiving started its slasher journey as a fake trailer cooked up by Roth for Tarantino and Rodriguez's 2007 Grindhouse. 16 years later, the concept has been expanded into a fully fledged feature film. When Roth was first approached by Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez to make a faux trailer for Grindhouse, Roth immediately had the idea for a Thanksgiving-themed 80s slasher trailer, and people loved it. It's been talked about extensively every November ever since, and according to Roth, for a long time, he had taken the approach of attempting to write scenes that would connect between the scenes from the trailer. This is essentially the approach that's been taken when making other films that originated from mock trailers, such as Machete, which was also from Grindhouse, and films like Hobo with a Shotgun. But eventually Roth decided that that just wasn't the way that he wanted to make this film, and so he and his team instead decided to construct their own elaborate mythology. They approached it with the idea that the Thanksgiving trailer from Grindhouse was from a real movie that came out, but that it was a lost film with the only surviving piece being the trailer. The actual Thanksgiving film would then be an attempt at a reboot based on that original trailer instead of the actual film hinted at in the trailer. And while this may seem like a lot of headcanon to justify taking a different approach, it freed Roth and his team up creatively to do what they thought would be best for the film, even if that meant that not everything in that original Grindhouse trailer made it into the final film. And so finally, after many years of speculation and anticipation, it's time to celebrate Thanksgiving. The film opens with a horrifying Black Friday riot as a frenzied mob of shoppers storm the local superstore in a hunt for holiday bargains, leaving a number of people dead in their wake. A year later, a killer wearing a mask of the first Plymouth, Massachusetts governor, John Carver, starts terrorizing the town, targeting those who were part of the tragedy, including high schoolers who snuck in through the employee entrance, the owner and his wife, and customers whose heinous acts were caught on security footage that was suddenly deleted. The killer's murders are investigated by the local sheriff, but it's Jessica, the store owner's daughter, who starts piecing together what's actually been happening while she and her friends receive cryptic Instagram messages from the killer and images of a table that's been set for Thanksgiving. Some suspects include her former boyfriend Bobby, who vanished after his baseball dreams were ruined by an injury during that fateful Black Friday sale, and Ryan, her current boyfriend. Eli Roth unleashes Thanksgiving with all the subtlety of a turkey on a rampage, serving up a sadistic feast of impalings, beheadings, and kills so inventive they'll make horror aficionados squeal with gory delight. A sequel seems as inevitable as overeating during the holidays, and Thanksgiving is definitely a slasher franchise that horror buffs should carve out the time for. Thanksgiving is thrillingly pure in its nastiness. Roth doesn't dwell on eerie atmosphere. His mastery of horror is like wielding a sledgehammer, but he's not just swinging blindly. With a skillful finesse, he expertly delivers spine-chilling gross-outs and moments that'll have you leaping from your seat in disbelief. And Thanksgiving has more in common with the 80s slasher boom than it does with modern mainstream peers like Blumhouse or A24. Studio horror needs something more than the supernatural and super serious to satisfy horror fans, and this film proves just that. Personally, I'm glad to see a major studio horror film that manages to emulate the sensibilities of the 80s slasher craze while still maintaining the modern setting. Setting your modern slasher film in the 80s is so overused at this point that it just feels lazy, and I find it, frankly, refreshing to see over-the-top ridiculous kills in this modern context. Considering that this film has a veritable Thanksgiving feast of characters, the movie does a really good job at setting up its potential victims. It gives you just enough for you to care about the characters, but not so much that you don't relish in their gory demise, just as much as John Carpenter and, honestly, Roth and Rendell as well. Jeff Rendell's script serves up high schoolers as dopey social media addicts and stubborn kids, yet it avoids reducing them to mere slaughter fodder, adding an intimate touch to the terror. The John Carver killer brings cold-blooded, giddy violence, and the face of colonialism adds just the right dose of freaky. The movie flaunts impressive, over-the-top kills and relishes in its brutality, serving up its horror with a heaping helping of comedy on the side. It also includes several nods to the slasher flicks of yore, as well as a few deep-cut name drops for Massachusetts natives. Overall, it's a veritable feast of frights that horror fans can be thankful for. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed dissecting Thanksgiving as much as I did, hit that like button. You can also subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell to be updated whenever I upload a new video. Let's keep the conversation alive in the comments. Was the John Carver Killender a stroke of genius, or just too much for your sadistic palate? Happy Thanksgiving, and until next time, keep on creeping on.